Will the Senate please come to order? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Ocasio?
Present.
Senator Baker? Senator Chang?
Here.
Senator Dela Cruz? Senator English?
Present.
Senator Favela?
Here.
Senator Gabbard? Senator Ihara?
Present.
Senator Inoue? Senator Kanuha? Senator Keith Agaran? Senator Keoho Kalole? Senator Kidani? Senator Kim? Senator Lee? Senator Misalucha?
Present.
Senator Moriwaki? Senator Nishihara? Senator Rhodes?
Present.
Senator Riviere? Senator San Buenaventura? Senator Shimabukuro?
Here.
Senator Taniguchi? Senator Wakai? Mr. President,
Present.
all 25 members are present.
Thank you. The chair has read the journal of the preceding day and approves the same. Are there any introductions this morning? Not, Madam Clerk.
Governor's message number 10 transmits a report, and Governor's message number 828 withdraws a nomination to the Kaneohe Bay Regional Council.
File.
On pages 2 through 9, departmental communication numbers 364 to 384, 386, 387, and 389 to 439 transmit reports.
File.
On pages 10 through 18, House Communication numbers 633 and 634 inform the Senate that the House passed various bills on final reading. On pages 18 and 19, House Communication number 635 informs the Senate that the House agreed to the amendments made by the Senate to various House bills and that said bills passed final reading in the House. And on page 19, House Communication number 636 informs the Senate that the House has disagreed to the amendments proposed by the Senate to House Concurrent Resolution number 123.
File.
On pages 20 and 21, Judiciary Communication numbers 36 to 46 transmit reports.
File.
Advise and consent.
If there are no objections from the members, we will be taking advise and consent on consent.
On pages 21 to 24, Standing Committee Report numbers 1853 to 1858 on Governor's messages for adoption.
Is there any discussion? Senator Ihara, was this the section you had?
Yeah, could you note reservations for me on 1857 GM 736, please? Thank you.
So noted. Any other reservations or no votes? If not, again, Madam Clerk, do we have unanimous consent?
25 ayes.
Thank you. The nominees for said governor's messages have been confirmed.
On page 24, Standing Committee Report number 1859 on Governor's messages for adoption.
Members, one of the governor's messages referenced in Standing Committee Report number 1859 was withdrawn by the governor after the committee report was filed. Therefore, the chair will first entertain a motion to file Standing Committee Report number 1859. Then we will move to vote to advise and consent to the remaining nominations that were not withdrawn from consideration. Senator Inouye.
Yes, Mr. President, I move to file Standing Committee Report number 1859.
Senator Keoho Kalole.
I second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Any objections? If not, the motion is carried. The clerk is directed to file Standing Committee Report number 1859 and place the same in the journal. Senator Inouye.
Mr. President, I move that the Senate advise and consent to GM numbers 686 and 771.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent?
25 ayes.
Thank you. The nominees for said governor's messages have been confirmed.
On pages 24 and 25, adoption of resolutions, Standing Committee Report numbers 1860 to 1864 on House Concurrent Resolutions for adoption.
Senator Keoho Kalole.
Mr. President, I move for the adoption of Standing Committee Report numbers 1860 to 1864.
Senator Favela.
Second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Any objections? If not, the motion is carried. Said resolutions have been adopted.
On pages 25 and 26, final adoption of resolutions. Senate Concurrent Resolution 26, House Draft 1, 164, House Draft 1, 190, House Draft 2, 219, House Draft 1, and 242, House Draft 1 for adoption.
Senator Ke'oho Kalole.
I move for the adoption of said Senate concurrent resolutions.
Senator Favela.
I second the motion.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Any objections? If not, the motion is carried. Said concurrent resolutions have been adopted.
On
Senate
page-
President, can I
Senator
call for a brief
Nishihara.
recess?
No objection, short recess. Will the Senate please come back into order? Madam Clerk.
We're on page 26 and 27, final reading.
If there are no objections from the members, we will be taking final reading on consent.
Conference Committee Report Number 185, final reading of House Bill 1281, Conference Draft 1 relating to emergency medical services.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent?
25 ayes.
Thank you. HB 1281, CD1 passes final reading.
On page 26, final reading of House Bill, page 27, final reading of House Bill 613, Conference Draft 2 relating to education.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent?
25 ayes.
Thank you. HB 613, CD2 passes final reading.
Miscellaneous business, on page 27, usual and customary resolutions, Senate Resolution Number 223 and 224 for adoption.
Senator Ke'oho Kalole.
I move for the adoption of Senate resolutions number 223 and 224.
Senator Favela.
I second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Any objections? If not, the motion is carried. Said resolutions have been adopted.
We have no further business, Mr. President.
I'm supposed to announce that we're going to take a short recess to see if the House has concluded their business, but since they were greeting us as we entered the chamber, I can inform you that they have concluded their business. We're not going to take a recess, and instead, I'm going to ask, are there any final announcements today? Senator Keith Agaran,
Rise on a point of personal privilege.
please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of all of your colleagues, and especially your two colleagues from Maui, and knowing full well that in the course of the 21 years you've spent here in this body, that you have actually represented almost every part of our county, because you've been the senator from every district during your time here. We have a certificate to present to you that cannot capture all of what you have done and what you have meant to the county of Maui, to your communities, your home community in Hana, your home in East Maui, your constituents on Lanai, Molokai, and to all of the friends that you have made over the years, colleagues that you've had in the county council, all the things that you've done that you're responsible for, good and bad, nonpartisan elections on Maui. The ag subdivision law that got a little bit more control on Maui of the use of ag lands for gentlemen estates. All the work that you've done on Hawaiian issues here during the time that you've been here. All the advice that you've always provided to us when we needed it on Native Hawaiian and cultural issues. The passion that you've always shown for your community and for the people of Maui County. It's my honor to provide this certificate that's been signed by all of your colleagues, sponsored by Senator Baker and myself. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Further announcements, Senator Kim and
Thank
then
you, Mr.
Senator
President.
Misalucha.
I rise on a point of personal privilege.
Please proceed.
Thank you. Mr. President, 21 years ago, a young councilman from Maui, a young councilwoman from Honolulu, I believe a representative from Wahiawa, was elected to this body. We were the freshman class that came in 2000. And as long as I can remember, this councilman who was elected as senator, when we were asked what it is we would want to do, what kind of positions we wanted to do, he said he wanted to be in leadership. And he has held true to that. For his 21 years, he has always been, or almost always been, in leadership. It was a pivotal time that we got in. The organization of the Senate was up for grabs. The Senate had had joint chairs at the time for Ways and Means and for Consumer Protection and for the A bracket committees. It was something that I did not agree with. And because of the change that we made in leadership, the three of us were pivotal in that vote because it was so close that we did not get joint committee chairs because it was so chaotic at the time. But I have enjoyed serving my time with my colleague, my friend. We shared a lot because we were both on the city councils at the time. Home rule was an issue. And so, Kalani, we're going to really miss you, and we wish you the best. So, aloha.
Thank you. Senator Misalucha.
Aloha. Tough act to follow. Good luck, Kalani. I rise on a point of personal privilege,
Please
Senate
proceed.
President. Senate President, colleagues, when the 31st legislative session started this year, I confess that I was filled with some trepidation. But today, at the end of this session, after a steep learning curve, after working shoulder to shoulder with you, colleagues, I have to state without exception and without an iota of a doubt that I have newfound respect for the legislative process and the valiant men and women who carry it through. I found a chamber with dedicated senators and staff who have their heart in the right place, who consider the role as a sacred duty, and who toil and labor for the communities they serve. Mahalo to the Senate leadership, to the committee chairs, and to you, esteemed members, for your guidance, your mentorship, and your fine example. We may not always see eye to eye on issues, but there is always mutual respect and honor. I commend my staff, my legislative director, Richard Mizuzawa, office manager, Amy Suwayoshi, legislative aide and communications director, Bernie Kaalim, legislative aide, Landon Lee, and our interns, Raiden Iwamoto and Isaiah Burke, for their unwavering support. Thank you for a memorable session, but there's work that needs to be done, and I'd like to believe, though, that the best is yet to come. Mahalo.
Thank you. Any further announcements? Senator Favela, then Senator Baker.
Thank you, Senate President. I rise in personal privilege.
Please proceed.
You know, it's very sad. I've been here about 3 sessions. My session for when I first got here, the first senator's office that reached out to me and their whole staff was Senator Kalani English. He always had an open hand, open door, open everything that I needed not knowing the friendship and the brotherhood that we would have in the few years to come. Yes, I am, and I still is, sorry, new, but it's so sad for me and my family that we talk about him a lot during holidays, because he lives on the island where my dad was born and raised, in a community where we talk about plantation and family and ohana. And talking to him and some of his staff, this reminds me of how special his presence here in these chambers and in this building, because of his upbringing and what he brings to the table. So when I went home, I didn't call my dad and tell my dad that he was stepping down and he was retiring. As soon as I went into my dad's room and I sat down on the recliner, he said, "Hey, I never knew he was that kind," he was very concerned. And so is our family, as we continue to pray for his health and longevity. Whatever God has made a way and a path for him, we wish him the most blessing and great health and great luck going forward in whatever endeavors you do, Kalani. And I love you, and I thank you for being that friend to me when I first came here. And same like the rest of my colleagues here in this chamber. Over the years, we agree or disagree, but at the end of the day, people like Senator Baker, I feel that our relationship got closer over the first time I was here. I can tell because when we first went in the chambers, committee hearings in the beginning, it wasn't that great. But now I really feel that she kind of warmed up to me, so we're friends. And I could tell you guys why. Because not once, not twice, 2 days in a row, she called me her favorite Republican senator. Going forward, I love each and every one of you guys. I wish you guys the best and see you guys next session. Again, love and aloha. God bless.
Thank you, Senator Favela. You can clap. Senator Baker.
Well, I guess it's, Mr. President, colleagues, I guess it's only appropriate that I follow my favorite Republican senator to make some remarks about my favorite senator from East Maui. I said I wasn't going to do this. Kalani has been a part of the trio representing Maui in the Senate, and it has been just a joy to not only get to know him better, learn about his roots, and get some knowledge that I didn't have about Hawai'i. Excuse me. But more importantly, to think about all of the wonderful things that he did for not only Maui County and his district, but for all of us here. He helped us with our communications. He helped us understand some of the nuances of legislation that those of us who don't have the cocoa would not understand. But more importantly, he reached out to all of us to share his knowledge and his wisdom and his kindness and gentleness that I think all of us can learn from. And so, Kalani, it's been an honor and a privilege to be your colleague, to be your friend, and I'm going to miss the hell out of that. We've had some wonderful times together, and I know that if we get stuck, you're just a phone call away, and I know your phone's going to be ringing a lot. Thank you, Kalani. Good health. Stay well. Aloha.
Thank you. Do we have any further announcements? Thank you, Senator Lee. I didn't really want to follow Roz. I've not regained my composure yet.
Thank you. Raz, on a point of personal privilege.
Please proceed.
And I absolutely did not intend to follow the good senator from Maui. But I did want to say goodbye to two people today. The first has been the rock on which everything I've been able to do on behalf of our community in the legislature, both in the House and now in the Senate, it was built upon, and that is my longtime staffer, Arwin Jackson, who is, I'm sure, watching right now. She's departing to go do bigger and better things because she has the capability to do significantly more than work in my office. But everything that I've been able to accomplish, big, small, and all the failures along the way, were made possible by, and I'm gonna miss her. I owe a great deal of debt to the folks in the office who serve, and she's one of them. The second person, of course, is our good senator from Maui, for whom I do not have a long relationship with, as many folks who've been here long before me. But I do know his work because he's done some incredible stuff on climate and on energy and the things that I also share a great passion for. And if ever there's anyone who deserves the credit and will go down in history for it, it will be him. So with that, my aloha to you. Best wishes.
Thank you. Any further announcements? Senator Kanuha,
Thank you, Mr. President. Rise on a point on personal privilege.
please proceed.
First, I did want to also thank my staff for their hard work this session and the last 2 sessions they've been with me. I wanted to also wish a happy birthday to my office manager, Tonga Hapoi. It's her birthday today, and she's working hard on making sure that we can finish off session on a good point. So happy birthday, Tonga. I also wanted to say mahalo, Kalani. Definitely going to miss you. Mahalo for your leadership, your friendship, and truly want to wish you health and happiness in your future endeavors. And just thank you for being there since the very beginning, since I got elected to the Senate. So again, mahalo.
Thank you. Senator Morawaki.
I thank you. I too want to congratulate and say my mahalos to Kalani, Senator English. We've been working way back. I think I was reminded with Senator Lee that we started working on the clean energy front way long ago. And it was Kalani that really brought home the Paris Accord and having us really focus in on sustainability, which was really a blip, not even a blip, on the screen for the state. So I really mahalo you for all you've done. I do want to say also mahalo to the rest of the colleagues. This was the first time I chaired a committee, and it's hard work. I thought it would be easy with GVU, but thanks to my vice chair, De La Cruz, I think we got a lot accomplished, and it was because of all of you and working hard and being at the wheel, I think, of working with not only ourselves and our colleagues, but also, and the community, but also with the House. And it is hard work to make a bill come to pass. So again, thank you all for your support, and I appreciate all the work with all of you. Thank you. Mahalo.
Thank you. Senator Gabbard,
I rise in point of personal privilege.
please proceed.
Mr. President, colleagues, we would be remiss if we did not wish a happy birthday, Manuia Le'aso Fanal, belatedly to our freshman senator from the Hawai'i Island. Her birthday was on Monday, but we had a recess day, so please give her a hand. And also, I want to remind you there is a piece of toffee for you, each of you on your desk. I know some of you might forget it, and I know the Sergeant of Arms, they already have their eyes on, in case you do forget it. Unfortunately, I was not able to do the hemp thing. I tried a couple more batches. It's not right, so you'll have to wait for next session. And third, Kalani got a very big bag of toffee, so don't eat it all at one time, bro, because you're going to get sick, okay? Mahalo.
Senator Gabbard, on behalf of all of the members, thank you for the toffee. You can see that there are several with lack of self-control or discipline, as the toffee is no longer sitting on the top of their nameplate. And to the Sergeant at Arms, I can only instruct you that Senators Chang and Shimabukuro are not present in their chairs, so whatever happens to their toffee, I certainly didn't see anything. Do we have any further announcements? Senator Kidani.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise in a point of personal privilege.
Please proceed.
I think Senators Chang and Shimabukuro said I could have their toffee. Anyway,
You have to be present to win.
That's right. But they said I could have it, so they're present, and I promise I won't eat it until I get it to you. I'd like to first thank my committee clerk, Scott Fuji. You may know how difficult the Education Committee can be, and I'm not the easiest person to work for. I'd also like to thank the rest of my staff, Denisha Honda, Jade Snow, Felicity Taria, and Kate Ozawa. Mr. President, I wanted to take this opportunity to tell our good senator from East Maui that this is not the last you've seen of us, because I'm putting in a request right now with our WAM chair for the next tour that we do for WAM site visits to let us see the good things that our senator from East Maui has done on Maui. And I would love to visit you, and I promise never again to complain about my drive from Mililani, because every time I say that, you always give me this stink eye, and I know how long and how early you have to leave so you can get a flight to get here on time. But I will tell you, sitting here next to you in the last several years has been my pleasure, and I wish you all the best, Kalani. And I hope whoever fills the seat will have as many good jokes as you have had over the years. If not, I will be calling you to ask you for your joke of the day. Mr. President, with aloha to Senator Kalani English, all of our best from all of your colleagues. Aloha.
Thank you. Any further announcements? If not, Senator, well, I tell you what then, Kalani, why don't you let me make a comment about you, and then I'll recognize you, and then I will wrap up. As a council member, we found out in the 1990s that Avery Chumley was canoed to the north shore of Kauai, and coming to the Capitol was the first opportunity I had to meet and begin a relationship with Senator English. We quickly bonded because some of his family on Kauai were very close friends of mine, and through that common bond of family and friends, like it so often happens in Hawaii, a friendship was born. I had the opportunity to serve with him as fellow council members, and finally for the last 11 years as colleagues here in the Senate. I did inform several national organizations of his retirement and forwarded the press release, and the kind regards, best wishes, and prayers have been pouring in from all over the country. But like all of you, I got to know the international relationships and the international reach that Senator English has had, and the difference that he's made, not just in Hawaii or across the United States, but literally across the globe. I'm trying to keep myself together, so I talk privately to Senator English already, but I will share simply one sentiment that I told him. When I came here, he was already an identified friend. But as we've attended conferences together, often with the Speaker of my House, Joy, in attendance, and the relationship that she forged with Senator English as well, I told him, we leave today not as friends, but as family. And it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve with you, Senator English. You may now have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm trying not to cry, and you almost got me there. Colleagues, I want to thank you for the greatest honor of my life, which is being part of this very special body. You know, Ron is correct. At the end of the day, it's our relations that count. It's our friendships that count. And really, really deep down, it's our ability to trust in each other's work. That's what our committees do, right? Think about it. We ask the chair to take on a topic, health, and you become like a doctorate in that field, and you help guide the issues on health, and we rely on your abilities to bring a bill to the floor that we all can trust in your work and vote on. So this body has been a part of my life for, you know, I've had 20 years here as a senator, but many years before that as a staff member. And I was thinking about it yesterday, walking around the building, that I literally grew up in this building. It's been a major part of my life, and it's been something that has been the beacon for me throughout my entire life. And that doesn't change. You know, I thought about this yesterday. Roles change, things are transitory, but you all, I trust in you all to carry on the work and to carry on all of the things that we need to do to make Hawaii better. I'd like to thank my staff, especially my staff. Auntie Libby has been with me for 20 years. Auntie Libby Suyat, and she's retiring with me today. Yeah. Sharon Lamho has been with me for 15 years. Sissy Gulick, and Sissy's my cousin. You've been with me about 10, 15, yeah. Alan Teixeira. So Alan has been with me 10 years, a few years out, and then back. But you know, I've had, and I want to introduce one special person up here before I talk about my other staff members. Leona Nomura is here, and she came down from Maui. So I just want to explain something that, you know, in my life, I've had my parents passed, my grandparents passed, everyone has passed, and Leona has become my mother. She's the one person, she ran my campaigns, and I can say it like this. A campaign manager that does not want to do paperwork. Think about that. But she got the votes, right? But we all need someone that goes home and says, you know, why did you wear that shirt? Or you go clean your room, or go clean your house, or things like that. But Leona is my mom, and has become that person that takes care of me, that gives me that nurturing, and that gives me that love that I need. So I wanted to thank Leona for everything. You know, she called and said, I'm coming down, and I said, I'm so happy that you're coming to join me. So Leona. You know, I've had other staff members that you may see around here. Jennifer, who's in the clerk's office, started in my office. And I forget how many years you worked with me. 6, 5, something like that, yeah. Jacob Aki, as you all know, is now our communications director. He worked with me for 5 years before coming out and becoming the Senate communications person. The point that I'm making here is that let's all of us invest in our young people, invest our time and our energy to train them and pass on the knowledge that we all have gained here. Because if we don't do that, we'll have a rough time in the future. But if we do, we'll have really good people succeeding us, right? You know, I almost forgot one very important person that worked in my office, Representative Melly Carroll. So she came with me from the Maui County Council and came with me to the Senate, worked for me for a number of years here, and then ran to become a representative herself. Okay, so there's so many other staff members that I would like to thank, and instead of naming them all, I'm just going to say thank you to all of the people in the back that make the place work. You all know who you are. From the clerk's office to the SMA to print shop, and Tia in the print shop, and Sergeant at Arms, and all of the support agencies. Thank you. Your work is so important to all of us, and I really appreciate your years of work. Now, I'm going to just be a few more minutes. I want to just reminisce a little bit about what it was when we came here, when Donna and I entered the place, and what it's become. Because really, the way we measure things is, you know, did it get better? But really, sometimes we should measure what's called the delta, the amount of change that happened. In that regard, I give the Senate an A+. When I came here, we had one fax machine. I remember when we installed the first fax machine. Everything was heavy on paper. We had very, very antiquated committee report systems. In the old days, every member had to sign the committee report. You think it's hard finding a chair now, try finding all 6 members or all 5 members. And then sometimes, I think maybe Avery did it once or twice, but the bill we'd lose the bill. It would end up behind a desk somewhere, and you know, we modernized that. We took that system and said, why do we do this? So now we have voting in the committees. We vote in the committees. The chair is the ministerial act of certifying that vote. But it took us a long time to get there. We went paperless, cut out tons and tons of paper. Then we are now leading the way in telecommunications. So look at that delta, look at the change that we have created and the things we have done. I look forward to the Senate leading the way in all of these technologies. I'm relying on Jared, I'm relying on Drew, I'm relying on all the young guys and all of us and everyone else to bring us into this new age of using the technology. So, to my constituents, to the people on Molokai, Lanai, Upcountry, East Maui, Hana, thank you. Thank you for your confidence in my abilities, for working with me in these past 25 years, and for understanding that we have a very unique district. I look forward to having some time to heal, some time at home, some time to regenerate, and some time to write. And then, hopefully after that, after I'm rejuvenated, I can start participating in public life again. But for now, I just want to say thank you to this incredible district of mine. The people are absolutely outstanding, absolutely wonderful, crazy as you can imagine, which is what happens in rural areas. But at the end of the day, we all come together, and that was shown during this pandemic. Some of the most rural and remote areas came together, and I was astounded to see people distributing food, people helping other people, people giving extra that they had to someone that didn't. This is the Hawaii that I like to remember, and that's the Hawaii that I see the greatest hope in. Finally, to all of you, thank you for being my friend, for being my family, and for understanding and wanting to learn and wanting to visit this incredible district. I'd like to, in speaking with the WAM chair and others, at some point you'll go to Kalaupapa, one of the most special parts of my district, and come to Hana, and come to see all of these exquisite places. And I encourage you all to go. Here's why. When the issues come before you, when we have a bill relating to Kalaupapa, we have 4 more patients left, but we owe them the greatest respect and dignity and the support that they need. When you have a bill coming before you about why we need to preserve the bridges to Hana, after you go on those bridges, you'll understand why. There's a couple I go over very quickly because I think they're going to fall in at any time. And then to my 2 colleagues from Maui, wow, what a team. What a team. The 3 of us, what a team. We gelled so well. We have a basic understanding that what's good for Maui County, all of our islands, is good for all of us. And we worked that angle, and we worked and we stuck together, and people know, you all know, that our votes are in sync. If we decide we're going to go one way, 3 of us will follow that. So thank you, Roz. Thank you for being a teacher and a mentor. Gil, thank you for being such a good friend, teaching me to analyze things very, very succinctly and seeing the other point of view. And now, Mr. President, for you. Man, yes, we're family. You know, I had this, late at night, you and I have talked about this, where we're both retired, sitting on our rocking chairs, in 20 years talking about what we did back in that year. Well, so I'll be sitting in Hana planting, getting ready for you to come visit me when you retire. But thank you. Thank you. I think this team that came together in the last few years has been extraordinary. And the reason it's extraordinary is that we relied on everyone's talents. We pulled people's talents and said, okay, this is what you want to do, let's go for it, do it. That's the difference. We find the talent, we move it ahead, and we support it. So with that, thank you, everyone. I so look forward to seeing you when you come to visit in Hana and come to visit the other areas. But I also look forward to seeing you as a friend on an individual basis, and we meet outside, outside of this very sacred space as friends and as family. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator English. I was thinking what to say in conclusion before we adjourn. And listening to your remarks, I realized that discussing the individual bills is not what's important today, and I think that the committee chairs have done a good job as the bills have moved through, discussing the specificity or details in the bills and letting the people of Hawaii know the good work that they've accomplished. Instead, I would say to each and every staff member for the individual senators, not everybody got up today, but you know just how appreciative your boss is of the work that you all do. And on behalf of the members, I'd just like to say to our own personal staff, thank you very much for your dedication, hard work, and commitment. I know I've said thank you before, but again, to all of the support staff, and I'm not going to start naming. I did that once and left somebody out and got in trouble. But I want each and every one of you to know how much we appreciate what you did. And I have talked about the unprecedented conditions that everyone has endured under and how they still showed up and got the work done. And at the risk of running into trouble, to highlight one of Senator English's point about the technology aspect, you know, to the IT team and everybody who worked with them to allow the public participation and the member participation in the way that we did. You know, just thank you. You know, your hard work helps us look incredibly good to the public, but we could not do it without you. And in Senator English's remarks about the team coming together, all it made me think about simply was that we are in a business where we need our constituents to choose us over somebody else to represent them. And it's not easy to ask the people in your district to vote for you and to say that I would be the best person to be here, yet every election, that's what we do. And the best way to succeed in getting your constituents' support is to run to the first available camera that you see and take credit for something, whether you did it or not, so that they believe back home you did it for them and they will vote for you. To run to the reporter so that it's your picture on the front page of the newspaper with the headline about having gotten these things for your district so you can get elected. I cannot begin to tell you how proud I am of the way that each of you went about doing your job during COVID. Nobody ran to the cameras. Nobody ran to the reporters to make headlines. What you did is got together to find ways to solve problems and to ensure the health and safety of our community, and now we're trying to find ways to revitalize the economy and get people back to work, to find affordable housing opportunities. The homelessness challenge is still there. But as you worked across the aisle with your House colleagues, if you talk across each other in the press, you start rationalizing and you start protecting hardened positions and you leave no room for compromise. But when you start out by listening to what your counterpart is interested in, and then you share your ideas, and you work in a respectful way, it's amazing what you can accomplish, and that is reflected in the work that was done here during the session. And I appreciate the humility with which you went about getting the job done and putting the people first, and not getting yourself in the headlines first. And to that, I really commend you and want to congratulate all of you. And I would simply close with saying I've said before, that was from, that my pastor likes to say, as human beings, we're not designed to see eye to eye. We were created unique and different. But if we truly look heart to heart, that is where we find the answers and the solutions. And you did an incredible job this past session in looking to your heart, looking to the heart of the person across from you, and looking to the heart of the people across this state to find those great decisions. So thank you very much. It's been an honor and a privilege to be able to serve as president of such an outstanding group of individuals. For the last time, Senator Keoho Kalole. 55 days, you're going to get it right one time.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that the Senate of the 31st Legislature, regular session of 2021, adjourn sine die.
Senator Favela.
I second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. If there are no objections from the members, the Senate of the 31st Legislature, regular session of 2021, adjourn sine die.